face. Hello and welcome to Do the Right Thing, your weekly writing prompt podcast. I'm Alexandra.
And I'm Jarvis.
Jarvis and I were aspiring writers, but we had a problem that most others do as well. We never actually took the time to sit down and write.
Exactly. So we decided to issue a challenge. Each week you sit down and write a complete short story using 3 or 4 randomly generated words.
Then we come on the podcast, we read a story sent in by you wonderful listeners, and then we talk about the rest.
Exactamundo. We're simply here to help you do the right thing. A Doof
Media Production. So I saw 3 Muppets movies the last couple of days.
I'm really sorry.
I saw the original Muppets movie, and then 2 hours after that, I watched the reboot. Is that? I don't know. It's not really a reboot. It's just
it just came later.
Yeah, like a 40-year sequel, I guess. That came out in like 2016, and then I watched last night the Muppets Most Wanted.
Oh, that's the most recent one, right?
I think there might be. I don't know. Probably. Yeah. That one is actually really funny. That one's good. The other 2 were pretty mediocre. Like, I really wanted to like them because a lot of well-known kids stuff are actually really good, right?
Yeah.
I mean, in Disney movies, right, most of them are really good. But the original Muppets and this remake thing, they were just like fine. I don't know. They just didn't have a lot going for them, really. I thought there would be more jokes for adults, there was like none at all.
Well, like, could it be that it just hasn't aged well? Because I know they're a lot older, so it could have been like a totally different style of comedy back then.
Probably the older Muppets is probably more funny for the time, but the new one has no excuse. So
yeah, we said that the newest one was better. So
no. The Muppets Most Wanted was better, not the reboot, which is just the Muppets, I think. But Muppets Most Wanted was really funny. Mostly, I mean, I will admit, most of the humor came from the villain. He's evil Kermit, right? And he has a Russian accent. And his name is Constantine, and that's really funny.
Constantine.
It's really funny that he's got such a serious name like Constantine. Also, he has the best song in the movie. Like, it's playing in my head right now because it's excellent. Anyway.
Wow. So for someone who, let's say me, right? I've only seen the Muppets TV show and like a couple of specials, but I don't think I've ever actually sat down and watched a complete Muppets movie. Should I?
I mean, it's more of a thing that you should do if, like, someone else really wants to watch it. Which I had to. I didn't just, like, on my own decide I want to go watch the Muppets. But, if you're with someone who, so it's a cherished childhood thing, they really want to watch the Muppets, or maybe you just watched a really scary horror movie, like I did. I watched Hereditary before it, and I am talking about the Muppets movie rather than Hereditary, so, that's the one that really stuck in my mind. So what does that say about Hereditary? Just saying. Anyway, I'm just kidding. But don't go out of your way to watch it. It's fine. It was fun, but like,
okay. So it's more of a group watch type of.
Yeah. If it's a person that really likes things from their childhood, or you are with a child, go ahead and watch the Muppets Most Wanted. That's my stamp of approval.
Hey.
Yes.
How did you feel about that scene when?
No, I have to cut this. You know that, right?
Fine. I'm not going to say anything else, but do you know what scene I am talking about?
I'm going to cut most of that, just for the record.
Do you know what scene I am talking about?
Of course it's the scene.
Okay. How did you feel? Was it great?
It's actually the second time I saw it, because the first time I saw it was really, really drunk, and then about halfway through the movie, I was like, this is really good, but I'm too drunk to truly enjoy this, and also I'm scared.
Yeah.
So let's finish it another time, and that was about like 4 months ago.
Oh my God.
So anyway, I saw it a second time. It was not as bad the second time, but it was still pretty bad.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's just me, but that scene hits every time.
Yeah, it gets you.
Like, I feel
it's especially the reaction. It's the reaction that really fucking does it. Sorry for the abrupt cut, y'all. Jarvis just couldn't keep himself from spoiling Hereditary.
Yeah, the entire movie. I'm sorry.
The entire movie, the pivotal moment.
Mm-hmm. If you haven't seen it, you're like 5 years too late. I'm sorry. Go and watch it now.
It was really good. It was really scary, really uncomfortable. Actually, what happened is we were watching it really late at night, a little bit drunk, but not too drunk, right?
Yeah.
And then freaking from downstairs, like midway through the movie, actually like 3/4 of the way through the movie, one of the speakers from downstairs just abruptly went boop 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 boop, and then like played 90s rock for 3 seconds and then turned off again. And we're like, that's weird, but okay. And then another like minute later, it did it again, and then it didn't do it again the whole night.
Yo,
which is like spooky. It was spooky. I was like, it's not a ghost, I know, but I am still very anxious from this spooky movie. And
do you have like some sort of ancestor that you don't know about that might be?
Well, a lot of people that I have over say that this house is haunted. So.
Really? And that's the one that I've been in, the new place?
Yeah, the new one. Yeah. They just get that vibe for some reason.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's mostly coming from that box
big,
room
giant,
that doesn't...
open. Oh, that too. But I think it's the big, giant open space.
That too. But I guarantee wherever the host evil is, it's definitely in that window.
Yeah, I think you're right. There's a big area... that looks like it should be accessible, but it's not. It's like a whole space of a room, and it's just not accessible.
And
so if there is going to be a little gremlin in there.
There's a window outside of this room, which makes you think that it's even more accessible than it really is. It's just very, very odd way to be built. It reminds me of Romeo and Juliet.
Yes, thank you for bringing that up. Anyway, yeah, so if I get killed by a ghost, sorry.
Yeah.
I guess.
If
the last thing before we actually get into the show proper, I feel like we're allowed to do this. This is our podcast. We can do this. But I watched The Ring, right?
Nice.
And me and the person that were watching it were a little, I mean, we both knew it was super rational, but we were also like, man, would suck if we died in 7 days, you know? Like, the movie kind of makes you feel like you're gonna.
Because you did watch the actual Ring video.
Exactly. But, hey, that was like 9 days ago, so...
Oh, so you're fine.
Yeah, they broke the curse.
Well, actually, also, like, I feel that if I watched the, like, Ring video, I would know exactly what I need to do. I would need to find that well. And,
That's not how you solve it, though.
Well, it kind of... Because you have to first find the well, and then you have to find the body, and then you have to, like...
No, that stuff was all unnecessary. It didn't actually do anything.
Oh, then what did it? There was some... there was some thing that did it.
So, spoilers for The Ring, and honestly, the stuff I just said is the spoilers, really.
The Ring is like a classic horror movie, if you haven't seen The Ring by now.
But yeah, no, the way... At the end, the only reason that... she didn't get killed, but the other guy did, is because she made a copy and like made the copy paste the chain email of the killer chain email go forward, and that's the only reason. And so she made her son make a copy so he wouldn't die.
I see. You haven't seen the sequel to The Ring, have you?
Nope.
Okay, so. Another spoiler. Well, actually, do you even plan on seeing it?
Nah, I don't. I mean, I might see it, but I don't care about it.
So, if I'm not mistaken, the way that they got out of it was similar, but they basically posted it online, if I'm not mistaken, like on YouTube.
Did that solve it?
Yeah, because it spread it to everyone else.
Did everyone die?
They didn't show it. But I'm guessing so.
Jesus.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
well, actually, if you still follow the rules of the thing, you just have to share it to one or two other people.
Yeah.
And keep spreading the chain email.
But if you share it to everyone, then is everyone safe?
Hey, here's a question.
Yeah.
I have.
Mm-hmm.
How do chain emails even start? Like, especially the ones that aren't like, something stupid, that aren't like actionable. Like the old ones were like, hey, click this link for $1 billion. Also, if you don't share this to 2 people,
you'll die.
You'll die.
Mm-hmm.
And the like clicking on the link like steals your information or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
Those make sense, right?
Yeah.
But what about the ones that are just like the scary story? Someone decided to make a scary story and then make it a chain email and then send it to a bunch of people. Like that's so mean. Why'd they do that?
Yeah.
That's so antisocial.
I mean, it's probably
anti-society.
It's probably the same reason as, why people make creepypastas, like they're just like, hey, let's spread this around. Let's see what happens.
I guess. I don't know.
It might be in the same vein. Granted, that's when the internet was new. So people were just trying shit out.
That's true. Mm-hmm. Well, they still have it now, but now I can get it, which is just like they make it, one of those posts where you keep scrolling for bad luck. Yeah. It's just a picture of money or whatever, a retweet or whatever. So that's just because they want more follows and stuff on their account, which I really doubt actually works, but okay. So those are annoying. They're basically like viruses.
Basically,
anyway,
yeah.
Let's do the show that we have. What were the words this week, Jarvis?
This show is kind of like a virus, because
it is totally like a virus. Send it to 10 of your friends on your texting list,
and you'll die.
And if you don't, you'll die. And yeah, exactly.
7 days.
7 days. Do you think if someone made an audio narrative of what the Ring video is, that it would kill people in 7 days?
I think it would still work if the audio narrative is also cursed. So, the Ring woman would have to host the audio narrative.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
So she did like closed captioning, like where they, or where they like narrate the entire thing for blind people,
Yes.
They narrate the entire room, etc. Yeah, like that.
Yeah, basically like that, and there'll be a audio narrative of it is a long shot of a deep well in a desolate forest. The camera pans in slowly.
Okay.
Slowly.
What were the words this week, Travis?
The words were cemetery, session, radio, and ratio, and owner.
Hell yes. Who are we reading this week?
Yeah, so this week we are reading a lovely story by NoGoodBi, titled Reminiscence.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's really nice to see a story by NoGoodBi. It's been a while since we had them around, and yeah, it's a good story.
I can't wait to hear it.
And we should also probably keep in mind that this is about the theme this week or month is about a single scene, right? So staying in one location, one set of actions, and focusing there rather than jumping around. But okay. Reminiscence by NoGoodBi. Standing in school grounds again feels like standing in a cemetery, surrounded by nothing but reminiscence and countless reminders of what's been lost to time and circumstance. I can't believe they're tearing this place down, Andrea says. I just nod, my words lost as I try to process the moment. It was me and her again, back here, back where it all started. She holds my hand. Hey, you okay? We can leave if you want. Really? You tried so hard convincing me to go. Yeah, but not if you're too uncomfortable. I know how shitty of a time high school was for you. For both of us. Hey, I say, forcing a smile. It wasn't all bad. I met you, after all. Aw, she kisses me. Really, though, the misgendering, the bullies, the unforgiving amount of work, the nights crying, dreading that I wouldn't make it past the next term. None of that was what comes to mind when I think about my teenage years. I remember the nights Andrea spent over, the study sessions followed by the watching of a bad film of her choice, and hanging out during lunch with Peter at a table that was just the three of us. The bad parts still get to me on bad days, but every other time, I couldn't ask for a better good memory to bad memory ratio. You think Peter would be here too, if he were still here? I ask. Andrea fidgets a bit. I don't know. He's a wimp, but he would hate to miss out. I miss him. It feels all the more somber thinking about him, standing in the decaying grounds that used to be the setting for so many of our most cherished moments. I know. Let's give him a visit tomorrow, okay? We can tell him all about tonight. Our trespassing and sneaking into this old place. We could bring something back for him, like a souvenir. What? Like an old dried piece of gum from between the lockers? There's bound to be something better than that. Andrea snorts. Better start looking then. She leads, leading me by the hand as we head into the dark, decrepit building.
All right. So I really like this story. It's very somber and in tone. And I enjoy how, of course, this does take place within this one moment. This one moment shared between these two characters as they not only recount the good times that happened at their high school in face of all of the bad, but we also get a hint of this third character named Peter, who I'm getting the sense has passed, and the story itself does really take a sort of sadder tone to it, but there's also a sweetness there, and that they'll always have those memories. So yeah, I think that this is a really strong story that is really taking advantage of staying in this one place. So really good job.
Yeah, I thought this was a really good way to take that part of the prompt that was picking a location, and picking. I get the feeling that NoGoodBi is reaching for their own memories of high school and such, and using those feelings and those thoughts to create the story. Like the description and like setting of it, like the actual like shape of the building, that that sort of thing is not what's important as much as the things that happened here. And it does take a bit of a broad view over it all. But I think that's still like a good overview of all the things that this character has gone through. I liked when there's those moments where they dive into like specific happy memories, like the studying and then watching a bad movie. Yeah, those were nice, and really I think show a bit of what that relationship was like.
Yeah, definitely. And again, like of course, this entire story is focused on these characters, and these characters are really pushing it forward. Or I guess this scene, it's not really a story; it's more of a scene. And yeah, I just enjoy how these characters do feel very believable, especially with their relationship between each other. And I like how them recounting their high school years isn't all gumdropping roses, like of course I think the main character goes into the misgendering, the bullying, the huge amount of work that is forced onto high school age kids, and I really like how this story is able to really nicely balance that negative aspect, but also we can tell that even though there was some bad things that did happen during these years, the strongest feeling, the strongest emotion is the time that these three friends had with each other. And yeah,
I wonder if the main character is mostly feeling that because they are in a good place, right?
True.
Or if they were in a bad place, that they would focus more on the bad, right?
No, yeah, that's definitely a really good point that I didn't really think of, is that, maybe the reason why they are focusing on the good is because they are in a good place now, and I'm getting a sense this might be a while since the passing of Peter. Yeah, that's just kind of what I'm reading, because the way that they talk about Peter, it's with a lot more joy than it is grief. So I'm assuming that has probably been a while.
Right. Enough time for them to accept it and stuff. That's interesting.
Exactly,
that carries across without having to be said explicitly.
Yeah. And yeah, I just think that this story has a great sense of time and place. And I think that's what the purpose of this challenge really is to establish place, but also time in relation to this place. But yeah, I mean, overall, I just really dig it. I dig this sort of cute conversation in the beginning. I enjoy how we go into their backstories without leaving this place. I think that's a really strong point, where we're still locked down to this core moment, but there is context being applied to what this moment means for these characters beyond what we can just see.
Yeah, I feel like I want more specific moments with this sort of story, right? And perhaps going deeper with some of those feelings that are described, the relationship and such. But I think this is a good overview and definitely a good start of a piece.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I would say if you did want to go back and gussy up this piece, you can pretty much keep most of it. Just, I mean, as you said, go in depth into those good moments that they did have on this. What was the line? The decrepit piece of dirt or something like that. Yeah, it feels all the more somber about him standing in this decaying ground that used to be the setting for so many of our most cherished moments. So yeah, just the biggest thing that I can see sort of boosting this story up is really going into those cherished moments, because they seem to be extremely important to every character that is being presented. But as we've already said, we love it. It's great. Thank you so much to NoGoodBi for submitting your story. And I think it's high time to move on into our listener submitted story.
Yeah, so what is the one that we're covering?
Yes, so the story we will be talking about is by Blari345 with Scene in Mind.
Which is a fun pun of a title.
Very much so.
So we have here this this man in this plain white cube, really a very minimal space, drinking a coffee or a tea, and the main bit of the story is basically, as I understand it, a long journey through this person's mind palace, right? So basically a space that they've constructed in their mind that has basically all their memories organized with location, because you can actually do that. I think probably most listeners already know that, because it's a pretty common trope at this point. But what's really interesting here is how in depth this description goes. Really talking about every single the locations that this character passes through in their memories kind of characterizes what those memories are about, right? And they as they journey through their own mind, they sort of figure some things out. There's some clues laying around for something that they need to realize. And finally, they go to the cemetery where friends and foe have been laid to rest, basically putting them away because they're dead at this point, as I understand it. And basically, they've come to the realization that one of them is still alive or has come back to life, with a fun little method where the death date on the tombstone is now blank. And basically, the man ends this journey and then thinks about how they're going to kill this guy again, whoever it is. And so that sort of implies like a whole, bigger story going on here, where they're probably like an immortal, I think, and have to hunt down this villain again. Not necessarily that they're a bad person, but
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I think that this story does a really great job of what it is not only implying, but taking the concept itself of it taking place within one place, and delving into the mind of this character. And I think that, him basically walking around all of these different corridors, seeing these clues, and eventually seeing the actual cemetery does paint a really nice picture for me as I am reading. And I think that the realization of this person that was maybe once dead isn't dead anymore, I think that, that was a really good part that I enjoyed. And of course, the last line is fun. It's a little tongue in cheek, and I enjoy it. So yeah, I mean, overall, I really liked it. I just think the only thing that could have really elevated this story for me would be just a little bit more details when it does come to the actual Mind Palace.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I think it is pretty solid when it comes to describing it within the beginning, but as we keep going, maybe it was just my own personal reading, but I found myself losing a sense of place because we are in a place that doesn't exist, if that makes sense. But that's just me.
That's interesting. I was about to praise it, actually, the description, because we get a lot. I'm thinking of the part where they go from the records room to the cemetery, and then suddenly the sun shifts and the crescent of a cold moon, half covered by thin tatters of unseen clouds, with moonlight illuminating faint traces of mist that cling close to the ground. That seems like a lot to me.
Yeah, and I mean that all that was really well handled. I just know within my own personal reading, I would have enjoyed more of that. Maybe that's it. Maybe it's just that I wanted more.
I think is there a specific kind of description that you were looking for? Because I feel like there is a lot of ambiance details. I don't know if maybe you're looking for specific geography and certain facts about the setting that you felt that you needed to picture the space.
Yeah, maybe that's it. Just specific geography. I mean, of course, it's really heavy when it comes to what we are seeing in the sort of illustration, but I don't know. I just felt by myself losing sight of where we were. And maybe that's because within this actual Mind Palace, we are shifting places pretty often. But I don't know. Maybe that was just me and my own personal reading, just sort of wanting for a bit more concrete details.
I guess we just disagree.
Yeah.
I really like the concrete details that are here. But a different thing I did want to talk about is actually related is that, so in the beginning, the man is inside this plain white cube with only a door and a small window, right? And so I like that contrast of their actual surroundings and then this really extensive and detailed Mind Palace. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
I was interested in what more is going on with this character and what exactly they're doing, but that doesn't really matter. I think this was definitely a fun exploration of the idea of a Mind Palace.
Yeah.
I like the whole thing with the clues a lot too.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, I think the strongest part about this story beyond the actual Mind Palace itself is the implications, that it asked us a lot of questions that would, make me willingly to read more, there are just so many different tidbits and places that were mentioned that I would love to know more about. But I mean, overall, really great job to Blari 345.
And thanks, NoGoodBi. We really appreciate both your submissions.
Exactamundo. If you want to be like all of these wonderful writers and submit your story to Do the Right Thing, you can do that by going to Reddit at /r/DoTheRightThing. All you have to do is sit down for 30 minutes and write a complete short story using 3 or 4 randomly generated words.
Yep. I think I might write a story next week. Because I had a bunch of ideas that I feel like I should probably start getting out and stuff. It's been a while, you know. And now I have medication, so I can actually sit down and concentrate now.
Even better.
Yeah, so that'll be a cool thing. But yeah, if you want to see the words as soon as they come out, the best way to do that would be to follow us on Twitter at RightThingCast. You can also send us an email at rightthingcast@gmail.com.
Exactly. And if you want to support us and everything else happening on Doof, you can do that by donating to the Doof Media Patreon. All you have to do is donate $10 or more per month to get access to exclusive bonus content.
That's right. The book club and game club were just this last weekend, so if you hadn't watched it already, you probably should. It's a lot of fun. They covered Control in the game club, and they covered Words of Radiance. And then the new book for next month is going to be Gideon the Ninth by Tamsin Muir, which I'm not entirely... I don't know anything about it, but it looks really cool. The cover has a bunch of bones flying around. I like that. And then the game that we're covering in the game club this month is Crypto the Necrodancer, which is a fun indie game that you can play yourself. It's on everything. So, yeah, it's a lot of fun. And of course, there's always so much going on here at Doof Media. If you haven't checked out all the podcasts already, do so. If you haven't checked out an old podcast that you haven't in a while, you should. Just, you don't have to go listen to the whole backlog. Just tune in, see what's going on, Tune into the OC podcast, What You Say, or go check out well, I guess if you've read the works, but... one of our Worm podcasts, or one of our Pact podcasts, or the Pale podcast. So a lot going on here, and worth checking in. So what are the words next week, Jarvis?
I'm so glad that you asked. The words for next week are put, pin, pipe, and mobile.
That's funny. We got some alliteration here. That's interesting.
Put, pin, pipe.
So put, which is a very simple verb,
to place something.
Which is to take something and place it in a particular place.
Someone can stay put.
Which is to not move from a particular place. Usually I think it's sort of means to put it inside of something, but not, it doesn't have to. That's just, I guess that's just not straight up not true. That's just the vibe I got, I guess.
No, yeah, that's a vibe. Your vibe is valid.
Because you put something down, put the gun down, that just means, you put it down. I don't know.
Yeah.
But place something somewhere. Anyway, so the word pin, so a pin is basically... Well, I think we should go with a verb first. So to pin something down is to forcefully make sure that it cannot move, right? So you can pin someone to a wall, you can pin someone to the ground, right? Wrestlers have to do that. And the noun pin, which normally refers to like a needle, for example, that is used to pin something in place while you do more things to it, right? But also additionally, there's the pins in bowling, right? You can put a pin in it, which is to, I think, like,
stop
table discussion for later. Yeah. Like, stop it for now, anyway. That's what I got. Would you have anything else?
A pin, a push pin. Pin, I think it's the same pin as bowling pin, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes. There's also Pinhead from... What are those movies?
The only Pinhead I remember is SpongeBob.
Oh, it's not that one. It's, hold on.
Are you thinking of the Coneheads?
No, I'm thinking of Pinhead from Hellraiser.
Oh, yeah.
That's his actual name.
Yeah,
because he's covered in pins. I want to watch Hellraiser.
It's really good. It's very aged.
I can't wait. But okay, and then the last, not the last word. Next word is pipe. Did we just have? We had elbow.
Yes.
And we for some reason did stuff with pipes with that one.
Yeah, because it's an elbow pipe.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So a pipe is a tube that is used to transport usually a fluid, but sometimes like you have pneumatic pipes which shoot air or objects through them using air.
Yes.
So basically a tube used for transport.
True.
That is not giant because tunnels are not pipes.
Mm-hmm. Question.
I mean,
can the writers put down piping hot?
Yeah, they can do that.
Okay.
Something can be piping hot, which is very, very hot. You can use a pipe, the smoking implement.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to say the sexual one, but that's also a sexual euphemism with the word pipe.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Mario
goes down pipes, and he goes down pipes.
He's a plumber.
Yeah.
Yep. You can pipe down, which is to be quiet.
Yeah.
Or especially, that's a verb to tell someone to be quiet. Pipe up is to be loud.
Pipe up? Is that a thing?
Yeah, I think so.
Probably. Because I've definitely heard pipe down, but I haven't heard pipe up.
Yeah.
Normally people would say pep up.
I've never heard pep up.
Oh, well, you know what? You didn't grow up in Pflugerville. Maybe that's it.
That's right. I didn't. And then the last word, mobile. Which it means something that you can... something can move around very easily. Mm-hmm. It's portable. Well, it's more than that. Like, something can be mobile if it can, like, run really fast, right?
True,
or just travel very fast. And so that's why we call phones mobiles, because when we first got them, that meant that we could take them out of the house, right? We could carry them around. Yeah. That's what made them a mobile. And it comes from mobility. Again, the ability to move. And those are that's what I got.
All right.
You could have a car.
Yeah.
That's a
mobile,
I guess.
A mobile. You can hit someone up on your mobile.
To pipe them down.
If a guy named Mo were to throw up, the throw up would be mobile.
That's really... You should have said that for your story.
I should have said it. Damn. Too late.
Do you want to? I could cut it.
No, it's fine. I don't even know how I would...
Okay.
Mix that in.
That's fine. All right. So speaking of, what's the story that you're going to write, Jarvis? Yeah. Keeping it to 10 words or less.
10 words. 4 of those words have to be.
Just try your best.
All right. Starting now. Joffrey put a pin in his mobile phone because
why do you put a pin in it, Jarvis?
Because the pipes... What
does it mean to put a pin in a phone, by the way?
Were busted, and the phone patched the bust.
What? Oh, that's perfect. I totally understand what happened in that story.
Thank you. So, what story are you going to write next week?
Great question.
I'm going to give you 7 words. 7 words.
7 words?
7 words.
Okay. All right. Give me a second.
Shoes on the other foot now.
The pipe was mobile until someone pinned it down. That's it. That's the story. You want me to write a sequel, though? I can write a sequel.
Go ahead. Yeah. Even though that previous one was 9 words instead.
So
of
this
7,
is a prequel.
Okay.
This is a prequel. A pipe came to life. And it's causing problems everywhere. And now a sequel, the pipe, they killed it because of all the problems. It started a fire.
Oh no!
And that was an issue. So they killed the living pipe. That's because when they pinned it, they killed it.
Not the living pipe.
The living pipe.
That seems like a really bad 70s horror film. Night of the Living Pipe.
It's like the tire one.
Tire? What?
It's like the tire. Yeah, the evil tire movie.
Is this a movie? You're.
I'm not
you're
kidding. I'm not
right
kidding.
now.
I thought it was a joke. I thought it was a joke. I saw it on Netflix. I haven't watched it.
There's a movie about a living tire.
Yeah, what's it called? Okay, evil tire movie. Oh, it's called Rubber. It's from 2010.
What? That is too late to be making that movie.
It's a French independent satirical slasher film about a tire that comes to life and kills people with psychokinetic powers.
Psychokinetic powers. Well, you know what? I mean, maybe if we treated our tires better, then stuff like this wouldn't happen. Maybe that's it.
You're so right. Yeah, if only people did the right thing when it comes to their tires and had them rotated regularly.
Every 6 months.
Oh, okay. There's a poster of it, and it's the tire, but it has an evil eye inside the space of the tire. I love that.
Poster looks like.
It's really good. Next Doof cast is going to be on Rubber.
When rubber meets the